Welcome to this graduation ceremony, in which above all we celebrate the achievements of you, our graduates. Those are the words with which I begin my address under normal circumstances at an in-person ceremony in the University of London Senate House. This year, of course, for obvious reasons, we've chosen for your safety to continue to have graduation ceremonies online. But those words are even more true. A normal Birkbeck graduate in ordinary times has to juggle their work, their family responsibilities with their studies, and successfully achieves that in order to get their degree or other qualification. But you, graduating today, have had to do so much more than that. You've not only had to juggle all those things, but you've also had to do so under very difficult circumstances studying online. Perhaps there were problems with the internet connection or with the computer that you were using. Perhaps you had to fight your partner for the kitchen table in order to be able to do your work. Or perhaps your children had to be looked after by your partner in order to ensure that they didn't disturb you. Despite all that, you have achieved your aims, and today is about congratulating you on your achievements. Of course, we thank also your relatives and friends who helped you, perhaps by giving up the kitchen table for their work and allowing you to do your work, or assisting with childcare and so on. And so we have a message for the relatives and friends, which is not just thank you, but is also to say that Birkbeck is for everyone. You can get your revenge, seize back the kitchen table, or perhaps come into Birkbeck because we're now offering in-person tuition and study at Birkbeck and also fulfill your aims and gain new qualifications. Equally, of course, our graduates may wish to come back and pursue a master's degree under more normal circumstances to develop your careers and study subjects that interests you. It's a very exciting time to join or come back to Birkbeck to study. In a couple of weeks' time, Birkbeck will be 198 years old, and she will shortly therefore celebrate our 200th anniversary. Not many institutions reach their 200th anniversary, but still fewer do so, doing something that their founders would recognize. If George Birkbeck, our founder, could join us virtually now, he might not understand about the different degrees that you've done or the different ways that you've been studying online and so on, but he would understand about helping working Londoners to achieve their aims. So we're celebrating our 200th anniversary, and we're doing so at a time when Birkbeck has never been more important. Gone is the idea that you graduate from university, get a job, and then remain in that job for perhaps 40 years, progressively promoted perhaps, and in the end receiving a gold watch or a carriage clock. Today you have to be far more flexible. The pandemic, Brexit, the fourth industrial revolution all mean that some jobs will disappear and other jobs will be created. And the workforce and you have to be ready to take those jobs. And Birkbeck is here to help you do so. Equally, we want to provide you with the very best facilities for study. A couple of weeks ago, the Mayor of Camden opened our new teaching facility on the Euston Road with lecture theatres, teaching space, and also, most importantly, social space for students to interact with one another. That will be done again on a much grander scale when Birkbeck has now purchased the building next to our main building, formerly called Student Central and now renamed Birkbeck Central, where we will again introduce more teaching space, more social space, and allow all our students to study on our premises rather than in rented accommodation. So it's a very exciting time. And I ask you to join us in lobbying government. Government is looking to support lifelong learning with a lifelong learning entitlement. We need that entitlement to be as generous as possible. And you, our students, our graduates, are able to testify from personal experience how important lifelong learning is. And today, you have achieved your aims. You've joined the 200-year history of Birkbeck graduates. But when people look back on you, the graduating class of 2021, they will say that class was something special. They achieved their aims despite all the difficulties, perhaps unprecedented in history since the Second World War. But you achieved your aims despite all those difficulties. And on behalf of myself and all at Birkbeck, I congratulate you on your achievements. Thank you.
sorry we can't be there in person, so that's why we are recording this message. I am starting, as I've now the privilege of being the head of department. And we just want to say that you have been awesome students. We have enjoyed having you here very much, and we hope to see you again soon. But for now, many, many congratulations on graduating, and enjoy the event, even if it's online.
Okay, welcome to the Department of Languages, Cultures and Applied Linguistics graduation ceremony. We are doing, as you know, we're doing this event online for the second year running. But nonetheless, we wish to convey to you our congratulations on all the efforts that you've put in over the preceding years, some of which have been quite difficult, particularly over the last 18 months. So really well done to all of you for getting this far. I should just say something very briefly about why I'm Martin Shipway. I'm the head of Languages, Cultures and Applied Linguistics. The two departments of Cultures and Languages and Applied Linguistics and Communication have just come together in one new department. Sadly, this will not affect you because you're graduating, but that's why we're speaking to both departments. But I'm going to invite my colleague Bojana Betrić to say something to you on behalf of Applied Linguistics.
Hello. So for those of you who are graduates of the former Department of Applied Linguistics and Communication, many congratulations from the Applied Linguistics team, and all the best for your future.
And to that, I would just add the congratulations of the Department of Culture and Languages to everybody on languages programs. I hope you have a great day. And again, many congratulations from all of us.
Vice-Chancellor, President and distinguished guests, I present the following graduates from the School of Arts. BA French Studies, Simone Shah, John Fitzgerald, Katarzyna Janowska. BA French Studies with International Experience, Georgia Huang. BA History of Art, Simon Everett, Sang Yoon, Patricia Yeaker-Ekal, Pauline Hallahain, Stephen Cragg, and Caroline Marsh. BA History of Art with Curating, Eva Sierra Garcia, Chiara Soldi, Catherine Meredith, Scholt Fuestas Makar, Liana Teruzzi, Esther Gaspenloch, and the BA Intercultural Communication, Vivian Omorogbe. I'd ask you to unmute your microphones and give yourselves a round of applause. BA Japanese Studies, Chanel Francis DeVoe. BA Japanese Studies with International Experience, Maria Putilio Umiara. BA Language and Management with International Experience, Samantha Tamaklo Bonaca and Anna De Lucia. BA Language and or with English, Jessica Watson, Priya Nelson, Carly Hand, Harris Roberts. BA Language and or with English with International Experience, Muhimanul Islam, Freya Williams. BA Language and or with Film Media, Ida Benamar, Frederick Lau, Jolion Divinu, Oana Chirix, Carolina Hong, and Gaylor Luana. BA Language and or with Global Politics, Aminata Dibasi, Stephen Restel, Levi D'Souza, Nia Cook. And language and or with global politics with international experience, Dalila Archidiakono and Severio Massa. I'd ask you to unmute and give yourselves a round of applause. Okay, so we have BA Language and or with History, and we've got Elora Ratnayaka. We've got BA Language and or with International Law, Anita Leshniak, Alejandra Gomez, Anna Giussiano, Ruben Rodriguez Pereira, Alina Majid, and Deborah Vernon. We've got Language and or with Management, Alessia Dorigelio, Owana Sirbu, Margot Bertrand, Sylvia Tacconi, and Gabrietta Gateva. And the BA Languages and Linguistics, Michelle Urban, Erica Fernandez, Marta Wiczorowska, Alexandra Marcek, Michelle Breckenridge, Hilary Garrett, Sophie Thompson, Patrick Noon, and Anna Maria Meningas. And again, I'd ask you to unmute your microphones and give yourselves a round of applause.
Well done, everybody.
And now for the BA Modern Languages. Elisa Marinina, Yassine Bahafid, Kelia Abdu, Roberta Padolino, Lodovico Irby, Rebecca West, Madison Wright, Carmela Garcia Manaz, Chloe Goodridge, Robert Eyre, Thomas Walker, Alessandro Palesci, Yolanda Alves Soto, Luisa Veras dos Santos, Farman Ahmad, and Cassia Rocha Lopez. For the BA Modern Languages with International Experience, Daisy Charles and Renata Corporale. And for the BA Spanish, Portuguese and Latin American Studies, Diana Kemp and Sarah Small. So please unmute yourselves and give yourselves a round of applause. So for the Cert HE in Linguistics and Language, we've got Aaron Arthur. For the Graduate Certificate in History of Art and Architecture, Janet Delves, Malcolm Tremaine, Beverly Stanford, and Graham Sparks. For the Graduate Certificate in Linguistic Studies, Sadia Zaman and Hazel Guha. For the Graduate Diploma in History of Art and Architecture, Emily Patton and Caroline Calder. For the Cert HE in History of Art, Stefania Perigo and Sylvia Cafaro. And then PhD Applied Linguistics. We have Peter Ray for a thesis entitled Teacher Attitudes Towards Continuous Professional Development Within Private Language Schools, Voices from the TESOL Sector. We've got Biara Kuda with a thesis entitled Science in Exile, EAL Academic Literacies, Development of Established Syrian Academics. And we also have a PhD in History of Art for Christina Slobogin, entitled Dickie Orpen and the Visual Culture of World War II Plastic Surgery in Britain. Once again, please unmute yourselves and give yourselves a round of applause.
We're going to clap.
Well, very much indeed for attending this virtual graduation today and to congratulate you on your success and wish you all the very best for the future. You've studied in the midst of a global pandemic and succeeded in spite of the challenges you've faced. We in the School of Arts are all really proud of you. And I'd also like to thank you to the contribution you've made to the life of the school while you've been with us, helping to make it the inspiring place it is for you to study and for us to teach. I very much hope you'll stay in touch with us in the future. And I'll now hand you back to my colleagues.
Hi, I'm Nee Ayikwe Parks. I'm a writer, editor, lecturer, broadcaster, producer, and publisher. I am the producer for Literature and Talks at Brighton Festival, senior editor at Flipped Eye Publishing Limited, and I was founding director at the Ama Ata Edu Center for Creative Writing in Ghana. As you can tell from that long list, I don't do just one thing, and I'm also Birkbeck alum, creative writing, 2004-2006, I was here. One of the main things that I learned at Birkbeck was to be flexible and adventurous, because I met lots of flexible and adventurous people in my year who gave me the courage to go out and do the things that I wanted to do as I wanted to do them. But studying here also gave me the tools to adjust my work practice. Before coming to Birkbeck, I edited poetry, but after working on the journal here, I started editing fiction, which I still do. And I also had the confidence to help set up a creative writing center in West Africa, as I've just mentioned. But I think the greatest gift I got from Birkbeck was my cohort of fellow writers who are still some of my closest friends, and we meet regularly to go over things. We haven't so much in the last couple of years, but anytime I feel like I'm stuck, those are the people I turn to first. So in addition to what you learn, I believe the greatest gift you'll get from here is the people that you've studied with. So please keep in touch with them. And together, I'm sure you will do amazing things. Congratulations, class of 2021. May you change the world.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings to the master, to my academic colleagues, but primarily greetings to you, the graduates today, and your family and friends who are there with you to celebrate your graduating. Congratulations to every one of you. So what is becoming clear throughout COVID, and this is the second year in which I've recorded this message. Last year, it was rather more formal. I still pretended that I was at a lectern addressing a huge room full of people, but I'm not now. I was speaking from my home on my laptop to each one of you. So it's to you that I'm speaking. And what we've learned over this time is that we are living through really strange and bewildering times. We simply can't predict what's going to become of the world. What's going to become of work and how we work? What about housing? Will we work from home? Will we live in different places? Will we move to the country? Will tower blocks cease to be what we want in life as places to either work or live? What will happen to all the different issues politically around the world? And what about the planet? Will that survive? There can't have been an issue as great as that since the start of time. So here we are facing all these problems and thinking it's never been as bad as it is now. Well, let me tell you, at other epochs, it's always seemed cataclysmic in some ways. When George Birkbeck called that meeting in 1823, asking working people if they'd like an education, would they please turn up at the Crown and Anchor pub in Fleet Street, 2,000 people arrived. He must have thought the world had changed. What happened? Did he mean it? Did he expect it to be that kind of response? And of course it was. It was changing the world of education forever. He can hardly have known. And also he can hardly have known what would develop, because he was living through a time of great change too. I made a note of some of them. I've got them here. The things that changed England at that time, the UK in general, but primarily the invention, let's say, of the railways. That must have seemed like the end of the world. The railways were going to take over. America would be conquered. The West, India would be revolutionized. The invention of railways in the 1820s must have felt like heralding the end of the world as they knew it, as indeed it did. Then there was the horse-drawn omnibus in London, public transport. Nobody had ever thought of that before, except in coaches from along the highway. The combustion engine was patented, presaging the most revolutionary change in transport you can imagine. All sorts of strange institutions were founded. The Metropolitan Police happened, the Oxford Union, where so many of our politicians, so many of our prime ministers have been the leading president, including the present prime minister. The Metropolitan Police, very important. The RSPCA, people started to care about animals, the welfare of animals. So these were all interesting ways of responding to change. And then, of course, the arts was flourishing at that time. We had the great sweep of great poets. Keats, not to live long, but to write wonderful poetry that still echoes today in the hearts of today's poets. Shelley, calling for political action to be echoed by Mick Jagger years later. Byron, of course, going out to Greece where he would die, defending, fighting for Greek independence, a legend, leaving behind scandal, great poetry and political engagement. So this was an extraordinary time of change. And people would think, how are we to deal with it? It's challenging and it's a bit bewildering. Well, today is both challenging and bewildering. I would say you could sum it up in 2 words, really, briskly, from the newspaper headlines: COVID and Brexit. How are we to see both of those issues unravel and be some good? How are we to thrive? How are we to solve the problems that they present? Is the world getting better or is it getting worse? We just don't know how it's going to work out. And here's my message for you, because with every crisis, there is opportunity. George Birkbeck knew that, and I'm telling you it's your opportunity, because nothing equips people to deal with crises so much as a trained mind, knowing how to assess evidence, how to weigh up the pros and cons of argument, how to set out an argument without coming to blows, I hope, and how to deal with both the challenge and the bewilderment. Your degree at Birkbeck has put you in that position, and I urge you to use it to the utmost degree. You will relish doing so. Problem solving is one of the great delights in life, and you have problems ahead of you and the skills to resolve them. So to each and every one of you, my congratulations and good luck for the future.
Welcome to the Birkbeck alumni community.
You might be in the UK or much further afield.
It might be morning, afternoon or evening.
Wherever you are right now, we as fellow members of the Birkbeck alumni community want to send our congratulations to you for what you've achieved.
Completing a course at Birkbeck in normal circumstances is by no means an easy endeavour.
So what you have accomplished is really something truly special.
Today you are graduating, and you should take a moment to reflect what a huge accomplishment this is.
Completing your studies does not mean the end of your Birkbeck journey.
You are joining a community of over 60,000 alumni in over 140 different countries.
So no matter where you are in the world,
you won't be far from a fellow Birkbeck graduate.
There are lots of exciting events, activities, and opportunities for you to stay connected with Birkbeck.
Visit bbk.ac.uk/alumni
to find out more and update your contact details.
We are proud to share this day with you.
Have a wonderful time celebrating.
Congratulations.
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 Congratulations.